자국 돈과 장 필요 없지 만 명예는 필요하고 You know what time it is me I'll be shy 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 길이야 지금
The rain tapped gently against the large windows of the mansion, a rhythmic whisper to the silence that blanketed the halls. Your state was silent, as always. The staff walked quietly, efficiently, like ghosts passing in and out of sight. But one shadow never left. Your bodyguard, Jungkook. He was always there, somewhere in the background, watching, protecting, silent. For years, he'd been by your side, assigned to you after your father's third political. You had been 17 then, a girl, barely a woman. He'd been older, unshakable, unreadable. A man carved from stone, it seemed. But in all the years, he had never spoken. Not a hello, not a nothing. At first, you thought it was a vow of silence. Then maybe, eventually, you simply accepted that your bodyguard didn't talk. Until recently. Until your started prickling under his gaze when you passed him in the hallway. Until you started catching the flicker of emotion in his dark eyes, interest. Until you started dreaming about what that voice might sound like. You paced your room tonight, staring at the dress hanging on the antique screen. A gala again. Your father had demanded your presence. You, staring at the dress's high collar and back. You could get it on, sure, but not. An idea slipped into your mind like a drop of ink into water. You and walked to the door. Jungkook, you called out, your voice soft, tentative. I need you. There was a pause, then footsteps. Heavy, slow. He entered like he always did, calm, emotionless, face blank, dressed in black from head to toe. Dark hair, a little tousled, the scar on his cheek catching the light. He stood still, hands behind his back, awaiting your command. Your heart began to pound, but you didn't let it show. Can you? You asked. Voice light. He nodded once. You turned, lifting your hair up off your neck, revealing the pale of your back. You heard him move closer. The air shifted with his nearness. You could feel his breath, barely there, as the cool metal of the zipper your spine. Slowly, with practiced precision, each inch was. When it was done, you stepped away and walked to the mirror, adjusting the sleeves. The silence was still there. You turned toward him, standing straight, half curious. "What do you think?" you asked, knowing he wouldn't answer. A long pause. You watched his face, unreadable as always. Then, finally, something changed. His. "You look beautiful." The words were soft, deep, but they landed like a thunderclap in your breath hitched. You stared at him, unable to process what just happened. "You can talk?" you whispered. He blinked slowly. "Yes." "All these years? Why didn't you say anything?" Another pause. Then he stepped closer, and this time there was something unmistakable in his eyes. Possession. "Because silence is the only way I knew to keep you safe from others and from me." You felt your stomach drop. There it was, something unspoken until now. The black car glided through the city, sleek and Laika in the night. Inside, you sat in silence, your fingers with the silver clasp of your clutch. Across from you, Jungkook sat as he always did, upright, unreadable. Except now, the silence between you wasn't empty. It was charged. His voice echoed in your mind. "You look beautiful." The fact that he had spoken at all made your thoughts whirl. You kept glancing at him in the reflection of the car window. His expression was the same, but now it meant something different. That blankness was a mask, and behind it, you weren't sure, but you wanted to know. "Jungkook?" you finally said, voice low, testing the water again. "Was I imagining it, or did you really see that?" He didn't look at you, but he answered. "I said it." Your breath caught. You looked down at Jor, trying to calm the strange thrill in Jor. No one else in your life made you feel this shaky. Not the men of your father's dinners, not the heirs at galas. Only the man in the shadows. Only him. The gala was in full swing when you arrived. Lights glittered like stars on the high ceiling of the ballroom, and the sound of crystal, jazz, and laughter filled the room. You descended the stairs gracefully, aware of every eye turning towards you. But you weren't thinking about them. You were thinking about Jungkook, who followed at a distance, close enough to protect, far enough to blend. You could feel his gaze, though, like it brushed your spine. A tall man approached, Park Sunghoon, rich in all the ways. "You look stunning tonight," he said with a smirk, offering his hand. You took it because you had to. Public appearances were everything. "Thank you, Sunghoon. Tell me, where do you keep finding these gowns? You always look like a fallen angel." You offered a smile. He leaned in slightly. "Have dinner with me next week. I'll send a car." Before you could respond, the hairs on your neck rose. A shadow loomed behind you. Jungkook had stepped closer, silently, smoothly. Sunghoon noticed. "Ah, the mute statue speaks tonight," he joked. You didn't like his tone, neither did Jungkook. You could feel it. He stepped between you and Sunghoon, eyes locked on the man. His hand, subtle but rested near thee, hidden in his coat. His voice was ice. "Step back." Sunghoon blinked. You did too. The crowd didn't notice, but in the air was unmistakable. Jungkook wasn't loud. He didn't need to. Sunghoon, "Fine. She's not worth the trouble anyway." He turned and walked off. You stared at Jungkook. "You spoke again?" He didn't answer. Not right away. Then he turned to you, eyes dark and unreadable. "I told you, I only speak when necessary." You looked around. No one had noticed the tension, but your was still humming with, "What would happen if he didn't step back?" His jaw tightened. He looked away. "Then I would meet him." You swallowed hard. That wasn't just loyalty. That was possession, protection, something deeper darker. You were starting to realize something. You had never truly known him.
담아가고 봐 밝게진 그 별에 입을 맞춰가